Welcome back, friends. So here's another little installment of a quick little segment series that we're throwing into the mix here called Throwback Thursdays. And this, like promised, is the original episode 2 of Wayne on the Road. So this is shot probably late 2009, early 2010, in around there. It was my second road trip that lasted about 4.5 months. I came down to the southwest, kind of in around this area, spent a lot of time in Utah, and basically just did what I've been doing for the last little while, but yeah, it was just the beginning. Trying to get better at shooting video, trying to get better at editing video. I might add that I was editing, I don't even remember what that was called. It was like some weird named video suite that I managed to get a hacked version of, I think. And on a $1,800 laptop that really didn't have the power to be editing video. It took hours to render. But yeah, it was fun times. I was running and gunning, living out of the Xterra, which I actually highlight in this video. And just basically going and shooting and having fun. And to be honest, I was shooting so many photos and stuff back then that I wasn't really concentrating too much on the video, which is why near the end of everything, I only really had the 2 episodes. So the one you saw last week and the one you're seeing up next are the only 2 that existed. Next week, however, I have a little short clip that yours truly was featured on the Weather Network. So you'll have to check that out next week. But yeah, here you go. The original episode 2, uncut and unedited for your viewing pleasure. Other than, like I said in the last one, the Winter Sleep song, I'm cutting it out at the beginning for the intro just because I don't want to get another copyright claim, even though I did have written permission from their management, which I obviously don't have anymore. Like, it's probably long gone as far as that email goes, but so I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to cut that out, the intro, and yeah, here you go. So I just left Moab, finally. Edited video 1 in library today. Hopefully it'll be ready for tomorrow. This is the start of video 2. I'm not even 20 miles out of Moab yet, and I came around the corner and I found this. Thought it was kind of funny. So I'm sitting atop of, well, not atop of, but inside of Wilson's Arch. This is just outside of Moab. Hiked up here to take a few pics. It was well worth the stop, I'll tell you. Just watching the sunset now, and then I'll be on my way. Drive for a little bit, pull over, get some sleep. I'll show you what I'm looking at. It's Saturday, October 9th. I just left Moab, I don't know, I guess it's about 4 hours ago now. I didn't get very far. I took a couple shots of an old building that I found, and then I stopped at Wilson's Arch and caught the sunset right on, so I'm pretty happy about that. And then I saw a turn off for a recreation area. I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll look, see if I can find a place to camp. Well, I was going to camp, but then I thought, well, I could finish the video that I'm working on, video number 1, and but in order to do that, I have to have the truck running so that the inverter doesn't kill the battery. And there was a few people in the campground, so I just decided that I'd keep going. So I ended up in Anticline Overlook, which is actually across the canyon from Dead Horse Point in Utah. So I'm sitting here in the middle of nowhere on the end of a gravel road. I've set my alarm for the morning so I can take some shots of the view. But in the meantime, I decided to finish and render the video number 1, because I finally got it to work. So it's rendering in the truck right now, as you can see. And I'm just hanging out, waiting for it to finish. There's a little update from the middle of nowhere. Oh yeah, and I guess it's Thanksgiving in Canada tomorrow, so happy Thanksgiving. Cheers.
When all is said and done, I didn't have to run. Inside of me, something had to come undone. A breath of fresher air, a day without a care, a brighter ray of sunshine, no feelings of despair. Don't get me wrong, I'm feeling fine. Only need a little peace of mind. I'm only feeling like I've seen this before. I don't want to watch it all again.
So I'm outside of Blanding, Utah. I'm just driving along and I see this tree. Doesn't look like much from here. But I got down on the other side of that water there. Got some really nice shots. This is my friend Lewis. He's my stowaway and my co-pilot. He's kind of hard to see. He doesn't come out very often. He's been with me since Chilliwack, which is where my grandparents live. I came out of the house one day, and after not going anywhere for a couple of days, and there was a big spider web on my mirror to my window. So he was busy then. Now when it's cool enough and we've stopped, he comes out and works on his web some more. I try not to disturb it too much. But he's been with me all this time. Almost a month on the road. See you, buddy. So, in the prairies in Canada, we have a town called Medicine Hat. Here in southern Utah, we have Mexican Hat. Here I am down in the valley, in Monument Valley, looking at the monuments. I'm driving around on this unpaved road, is how they put it. I haven't needed four-wheel drive yet, but it gets interesting at some points. And it's about 4:30. The sun's starting to go down, so I'm just making the way around the valley floor, taking a few shots, and then I'm going to end up by the visitor center for sunset and take some of the long range shots from there. I'll just show you around a little bit. People always look at me funny when they ask me if I'm like getting motel rooms and stuff like that, and I say, no, I'm sleeping out of the truck. I'm living out of the truck. They always get that standard look on their face, like I'm living out of a car that's stuffed full of stuff, like you see, once in a while. Since everybody, is curious, I figured now's as good a time as any, as I'm kind of cleaning up and putting everything back together, to show you exactly how easy this is. This big box here, this is my winter stuff. Extra blankets, my winter boots, 2 winter coats, a couple other miscellaneous things that don't really get used a lot right now. And the box beside it, this box is my kind of goodie container. It's got, well, some essentials, little things like some movies to watch on CD, my books, my survival kit from my good friend Jamie, and here's just miscellaneous computer wires and stuff like that. Not a big deal. Can't get it open right now anyway. These boxes were my old remnants from my old drumming days. They came in handy for hardware and stuff like that. Now they're being used here. And in the side door, behind the passenger seat, we have camping chair. Then we have the fold-up aluminum camping table, plus a tent, courtesy of my friend Brian. And on top of that, we have a bag of flashlights, gels, and some clamps and stuff like that for night photography. In the middle is my small gray toolkit, and beside that, behind my seat, is my version of a survival kit. Not quite as elaborate as Jamie's was. On top of the winter box goes my Rubbermaid container with my cooking supplies, my pot, my pan, my little burner, coffee bottom, stuff like that is in there. On the top of the trinket box, I put my Rubbermaid container with my clothing in it. On top of that gets stuffed my bag of dirty laundry. Add in a big bottle for water. Add in a comfy, cozy bed with a couple blankets and some pillows. And life's pretty good. I also have an extra bag for my shower goodies, so when I pull into a truck stop and need a shower. While I'm driving, the laptop sits on the bed. In the passenger side, we keep cables for charging, which plug into the inverter, which is plugged into my socket inside of here. Breakfast bars. Camera in the camera bag usually rides up front with me. And I'd also like to note that it's usually not this neat in here. Tripod gets added into the mix. In the passenger door we have a bottle of water, can of bear spray, courtesy of my friend Heidi, and reading material, books, etc., etc. Usually the pamphlets I get like when I enter a park are put in there for now. So on the dash we have my hula girl, courtesy of my friend Nancy. You've seen her before. My GPS, not going to mention the name because didn't want anything to do with me. My notebook, which I take some notes, where I'm at, where certain shots are taken. And this is my American 50-cent piece that I found. And right now it's my current flipping coin. This has sent me in many directions, this. So as you can see, living out of a truck has some small challenges, but for the most part, it's not that bad. It's allowing me to see all the things that I'm seeing, get all the shots that I'm taking, and keep going. It's cheap, and it's not really that much of an inconvenience if you don't let it. It's all there, everything I need. So, aside from that little window into my world right now, I think this is probably the end of episode 2. So I'll let you go, and yeah, see you next time. So what do you think of that? I seem to be a little more coggy back then. It's kind of weird watching that again. And more clean shaven. Not sure how that happened. But anyways, that was the original episode 2, shot in 2010. Just before I was heading back to Canada for the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver. 10 years ago. How things have changed. But anyways, it's getting blustery out here. I'm going to call it a day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.
It's like working with a monkey.